Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly. Got a good one for you today. I'm at a place called Newport Dunes, which is really fun in the summer. But out here in the morning, they got all these Christmas lights in the harbor. That'll be worth driving to see that. But winter is coming, guys. Winter is coming. And it's just not cold winter, it's bad winter for business. We're going to cover it all. Please don't forget to like the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And today we have a sponsor I'll talk about later, Patriot Gold. Let's get into it, guys. Winter. Winter is coming in a few different ways. And the first thing is, let's talk about the cold weather. And there is an effect called the Greenland block. And Greenland is cold. And here's the thing. I always got a kick out of learning that Greenland was colder than Iceland, because it's got all that ice on it. Anyways, fascinating thing about this is that there's going to be a block, and there's going to be all this Arctic air that's going to transfer down into Europe over the course of the next week. You can say, oh, big deal. It's wintertime. It's what happens. No. The problem is that we had kind of a stable fall in Europe. Reserves for natural gas were built up. Now we're gonna see temperatures drop 20 degrees lower than they normally are. And that is a huge deal. And the reason why it's a huge deal is that you're going to start to see the natural gas get pulled away in Europe, and people are gonna have to start living on that. Now, think about this. It's gonna be cold outside. Big deal, okay? It's not like there's a natural disaster coming, but they're warning people that this is going to be a natural disaster. You're going to see the drawdown of natural gas be depleted so quickly that people are going to freeze to death. So it is a natural disaster. How screwed up is that? Now, you can follow all that green technology and everything that happened, and you can go be Sri Lanka all you want, but the problem with it is that when you start to look at things like, do we have enough natural gas? Does this plan work? Does wind energy work? And all this stuff. No, okay? People, you have changes in the season. Living here in California, it's a cold day out, guys. This is freezing in the 60s. Ooh, okay? Now, this is cold weather. Well, I don't know what cold weather is, guys. So these poor people in Europe are going to experience this, and that's when the problem's going to start. Now, here's the big problem with all this, is you can just sit there, say it's going to be cold, and they're going to draw down the natural gas, but there's going to be massive power outages right now as a result of this. That's the problem right now, and they don't know what to do about this. So the only thing that they can do, because the grid is so archaic over there, and it's basically, chewing gum and ball bearings. I mean, it's, Fletch would have done a better job than this. And for those of you that follow movies, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's ridiculous because the infrastructure is so bad in some of these places that they can't handle the power outages. So phone systems won't work. Your cell phone's not going to work. The banking system's not going to work. Street lights are not going to work. It's going to be that bad. Now, earlier this week, my girlfriend lives in Huntington Beach, California. She had a power outage for 4 hours. Awful. Had all those backup lights and things that have been sent to me. We had all the lights on in the house, and we could power the cell phones, and I had my portable internet. Here's the interesting thing. The power went off and then came back on. The portable internet worked. The second time that the power went off, the portable internet didn't work because a transformer blew, and it affected the cell phone coverage. So we didn't have internet. We had cell service, but we didn't have internet. So think about this. People that have medical needs, okay, and Lisa's one of them right now, that has to have the power on, oxygen, things like that, and everything else for her medical bed to move the thing, So everything that she has could be affected if there's a power outage. What about these poor people in Europe and hospitals? You can sit there and tell me how there's backup, generators and all this stuff, only for so long, guys, only for so long. And this is something we talked about 2 weeks ago. there's going to be a huge problem in Europe with these power outages, to where they're worried about the banking system. They're worried about people with food. They're worried about people getting really upset and rioting. So, get ready, get ready, get ready. Winter is coming. Manufacturing has fallen off a cliff, guys. The manufacturing problem here in the United States has dropped to its lowest level in decades right now, because nothing is made here in this country. And the latest numbers are out, so people are not making anything right now. And without manufacturing, you don't have a country. We're a service economy. You can't run an economy on haircuts. It just doesn't work that way. So the manufacturing numbers are down. Take a look at the story below on that. The jobs numbers, oh wow, they unexpectedly rose. Well, guys, I don't believe any of this stuff. I really don't. I don't believe the job numbers. I don't think that things are worse than they're telling us. By the way, I'm on that bridge that I showed you guys before. This is really cool. It's a really fun place to swim in the summer. And you've got a campground over there where people can bring their trailers and stuff and hang out. And then you've got the boat launches and the boat docks over here. Pretty cool. But so manufacturing's off. The job numbers, wow, they unexpectedly rose. Well, guys, nobody's working right now. The people that are working are bartenders. And people were furious from yesterday's video. How dare you slam bartenders? I'm not slamming anybody that wants to work right now. The fact that the only truthful thing that was said recently from Powell is that there are for every job out there, there's 1.7 applicants, or excuse me, yeah, for every job there's 1.7 applicants. So there's not enough jobs out there, and there's this great economy that we're supposed to believe in. So I don't believe in any of these people. I don't believe I don't believe that things are good at all right now. So share your thoughts on this stuff right now. Again, the metaphor for winter, it's going to be a cold time. But imagine cold weather affecting the power grid. It's awful that that's going to be the case. This is going to happen here in the States. Mark my words. The diesel shortage, the kerosene shortage, the oil shortage, heating oil shortage, this is going to be a problem right here. We're going to experience it, and it's always too late. So the train, I think they're going to solve this train dispute. These people are making all this money. Imagine getting a 24% increase in your salary. That's crazy. I had no idea that they were offering that much to them. So share your thoughts on this stuff. Let me know. But like I said, winter's coming, guys. Now, with winter coming, there's a couple interesting things. This story was sent to me by a couple people. Subscriber Dave sent this to me first, and that is that the Crypto Brothers, these guys own all these fancy cars, and they're starting to unload them. And I found a great story about this, about how you're seeing people get rid of their used cars, and they're softening. The used car market is completely taken a turn. So much so that you have things like G-Wagons, which are these very expensive cars that Mercedes, that guy had 3,300 miles on it, and it only sold for $130,000. And you can say, wow, that's crazy. It's a huge number. The point is it's a 30% decrease, 70% of the price of what it would normally sell for. So this is what's happening. These guys are unloading things like you've never seen before. Why? Because winter is coming, guys. The economic winter is coming. What you're seeing is a lot of rich people get rid of their assets. And we've talked about this time and again. If there is something that you want to buy, a boat, a car, vacation item, a toy, anything, look, investigate, because the deals are out there. Does it take work? Yes. Do you walk down to your neighbor car lot and deal with the car salesman who's going to give you a deal? No, won't happen. But there are desperate people out there that want to unload things. And if you can arrange your own financing and get it set up, sky's the limit, guys. So something that was completely funny to me was I read a lot of medical news and medical journals and things like that for the industry that I'm in. And the American Journal for Public Health had this, and I was like, what am I reading? Okay. More people are carrying handguns right now than ever. More gun owners are carrying handguns in public around the country than ever. And I was like, what in the heck? Okay. So that's where this came from. So it's great, guys. The economy's fantastic. People don't feel safe right now. That's a problem. People want to make sure their families are safe. People are training themselves. But professionals, people that are in desk jobs that don't want to deal with being accosted and beat up. I know a guy, this woman, met her husband a few times. Nice guy. Leaves the airport at LAX and a homeless guy starts punching him in the head. Okay? Uh, beat up a flight attendant and they let him go. Okay? So what would you do? Okay? My response would have been different. I know other people's that the response would have been forever. Okay? So imagine that. But, you know, American Journal for Public Health. Read it. It's below. It's fantastic. Now, FTX and scam bankman fraud. That guy, think about this. He just went to a conference yesterday and spoke at a conference. And think about this. This guy said, I had a real bad month. And you got to see the interviews. You got to see the link below. It's preposterous, guys. This guy didn't have a bad month. This guy is a criminal. This guy is a criminal to the highest power. Think about this. He says he didn't commit fraud. He doesn't want anybody to think he committed fraud. And we never had bank accounts at FTX. By the way, I'm under the flight path, so you can complain all you want about that. So they didn't have bank accounts at FTX. Think about this. How do you donate? How do you be the second largest donator to, let's say, a political party, and you don't have a bank account? How do you ship that money off? He also lent himself he lent himself $1 billion. $1 billion. Guy lends himself $1 billion, but you don't have a bank account. He blames his old girlfriend, that sheepish young lady with the glasses that you've seen pictures of, that they keep showing the same thing over and over. He lent his number two guy $500 million from the company. How do you do that? How do you lend yourself $500 million without a bank account? Now, that there's no fraud. He didn't do anything wrong. So if you guys believe that, you guys are kidding yourself. So the other thing, think about this. $500 million, all this money donated to different political parties, and the topper in all this is that when there's no line item for the bankruptcy, there's no line item with this guy in the company when they had the bankruptcy filing for Bitcoin or any of the other cryptocurrencies. So when people put their money into FTX to say that they were buying things like Bitcoin, let's just put it into their account. What account was it put into? People traded in US dollars. Where did they get the money? We didn't have bank accounts. I mean, this man-child, okay, this is ridiculous. I mean, I do not know why this guy is, walking amongst us right now. So all these people that supported this guy, this is bad. I mean, there's some really bad people in the world that if you cheat them out of money, that they don't take kindly to it. And how this guy pulled off billions of dollars and is just sitting there acting like it's no big deal. I'm sorry that this turned out. It's pathetic. So share your thoughts on this. Read the stories though, but there's no bank accounts. How do you have a business with no bank accounts? They also had no list of the employees that worked there. None. So you could work at FTX. How do you take payroll taxes out of your check? If you don't have a list of, John Smith works there, how do you pay this person? How did people get paid? Kevin O'Leary steps forward and says, we were going to lend them $8 billion. He should be ashamed of himself. He should shut up. How he has not been fired from Shark Tank yet, I don't know, because he's the biggest problem right now with this whole thing. He really, really is. Because it's not real. It's just a scam. So, do the Back Bay. It's kind of nice. But share your thoughts on this. because I think that we haven't seen anything yet. Now, one thing that was funny was Tim Cook said, hey, we may pull Twitter off the App Store. Understand this, that you've got a marketplace with the App Store and Google Store, that if businesses weren't on that, they would have nothing. They would not have an entity. They wouldn't have their apps sold and promoted, and you wouldn't be able to purchase it. So without that, you can't get the app. You can't download it yourself. So Tim Cook just made a statement that we may pull it from the App Store in the future. Well, Elon Musk said, if that happens, I will take my Apple stock and sell it to Donald Trump for $1. So didn't hear what Mr. Trump said about that. But the funny thing about this is that now there's a news story today, and you can read this below, but you can read it below, where Elon Musk, who said, hey, listen, we worked something out, Tim Cook and I, there will be no issue with Apple. I bet there won't be an issue with Apple. So share your thoughts on this stuff, guys. But we're going to see the bleakest winter ever because, warning after warning after warning. You have to get yourself ready, guys. You have to get yourself ready for food. When you hear from places like, shopping associations, food associations that tell you to be prepared for a long downturn, be prepared for bouts of shortages in grocery stores. Get ready, guys. This is what's going to happen. This is going to be the norm moving forward. You're going to see a turkey shortage, and then 2 days before Thanksgiving, now you have an abundance of turkeys. Now it's after Thanksgiving, they're giving away the turkeys right now. And people write me and say, see, it wasn't as bad as you said it was. No, it's a mess, guys. The supply chain is a mess. And I tell every client, every friend, everybody that wants to sit down and have lunch with me, anybody that wants to talk to me about business, get rid of the headaches. Get rid of things that take 5 and 6 suppliers to get you through it. And, auto repair places, these are the guys that have it the worst right now, because you know how it is. You get this part from this guy, this part from this place, got to get this one from the dealer, and it's a mess. And, I've experienced, a car repair that took a month to get done. It's the norm, guys. It's more the same. So share your thoughts on this stuff, guys. I think, we're going to see some crazy stuff happen, but, it's really odd that this kid is not in jail right now. I don't get it. I do not understand it at all, how he's not arrested. And when you start to look at the bankruptcy filing, and the guy from Enron, that's a new CEO, has just said there's no business here. This was not a business. And the way that they handled money was so poor, and there's no rhyme or reason to how this was done. But you start looking on TikTok, you start reading all these stories about the bankruptcy filing and how they didn't even have a list of the employees. The employees, think about this. If you had an expense account there, you would send a text to different people in the company, and they would pay your expenses. Now, youthful experience, but they would sign it with emojis and stuff like that. Come on, guys. This is nuts. Let's talk about our sponsor, Patriot Gold. Let's face it. People right now are very fearful of what's going on. One day the stock market's up, one day it's down, but one thing for sure is that we are living through an economic period of complete instability. You have to look at what the rich people are doing. You have to look at what central banks are doing, and that is getting invested into gold. You need to take a look at a 401k or IRA that's backed by precious metals from Patriot Gold Group. Call them today, 888-330-1431. You can get a free investor guide today. There's absolutely no obligation. But here's the thing. Like I said, look at what the rich people are doing. And the rich people are getting themselves into metals right now because they know what's coming. The Fed's plan is not working, and you need to protect you and your family moving forward. #1 rated, best in class service, #1 rated by Consumer Affairs, too, for 6 years in a row. Call them today, 888-330-1431. Look at what all the experts are saying. Robert Kiyosaki, Steve Forbes, everybody's talking about getting yourself invested into gold. Do it today before it's too late. An IRA or 401k from Patriot Gold. 888-330-1431. Let them know that I allegedly sent you. As we hit December, I'm reminded of a few things, especially stuff when I was growing up with my mom. Susie Orman steps forward, and she was speaking at a conference yesterday talking about finances and people's money. And whenever I bring this woman up, man, talking about somebody that's controversial, this is probably one of the most controversial people because, oh, she's a fraud. She isn't, trying to sell stuff, and it's ridiculous. The message is to get out of debt. The message is that people don't have money. The message that I believe is that, you know, get rid of everything that you don't need and save money. She was talking about how employers need to do more than just a 401k. They need to have an emergency savings plan uh, put together. And there's a program right now that's put together, a bipartisan program where they want to have a $2,500 savings program for emergencies for employers with certain size companies, which is a great idea. Okay, it's always good because the average person, you've heard the figures. Nobody has $400. Nobody has $1,000. People are just broke in general. People are tapped out. And we've talked about this for a year now about that. But I'm reminded this time of the year, every year, my mother, a single mom, raising my three brothers and I, how she would, save money for Christmas. She had this thing called a Christmas club where she would put money away weekly so that in December she'd be able to buy Christmas gifts. And the discipline for her was something I didn't have in my 20s. It took me to get much older before I started to save money and treat money the way that she did. And, we were broke. I mean, we really were. My, father of the year didn't give her any money, if you know what I mean. It was horrible. It was a complete ass clown. But going without, okay, we never went without because of her. And because of the way that she handled her money, we could do stuff, we could eat, we could go to restaurants. Oh, it's Thursday, we're going out, And that's the way she handled it. And more people need to handle it this way. And my mom, before she passed away, wasn't rich, wasn't wealthy by any means, but didn't need for anything at the end. She had her three sons throwing money at her too, so that mattered. So people could learn this lesson. And this time of the year, I feel for people that can't get things, people that want to give their kids gifts and can't. But I am telling you this right now, you will live such a better life if you go out and if you learn some financial responsibility. And I don't care how wealthy you are. I mean, there's people out there in this audience that make a ton of money and are broke right now. They better get paid. Oh, Friday we get paid, and then we'll be able to pay the car, we'll be able to do this, be able to pay that. It's a horrible way to live, guys. I'm going to end this video with these two conflicting stories. I love stuff like this because we've just been told, hey, things are great in the economy, things are bad in the economy, get ready, winter's coming. But here's one for you. Goldman Sachs has an analyst, Dan Struheim, who steps forward and says, listen, I don't think we're going to have a recession. I think things are going to be good, maybe about a 30-40% chance of a recession. But overall, the economy is strong and things are going to be great. I don't know what rock this guy lives under. I don't know what planet he's on. But again, invest, have them be your investment bank. Then you get John Wartenberger, who said from bullsandbears.com, who steps forward and says, listen, I see the S&P 500 dropping 50%. And people need to get ready for this. And they need to protect themselves and understand that we are in for a tough economic time right now. Make up your mind, guys. Make up your mind. So share your thoughts on all this stuff. Please take a second to like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Share it with all your friends. If you want more access to me, there is Patreon that you can sign up for. And we have an email list. You can sign up for our email list, which is below. And I know that an email is going out very shortly. So you want to be on that. Thank you for everything, guys. I appreciate all the warm wishes, all the cards and everything that you guys have sent me. It's truly appreciated with my girlfriend's condition. And thank you, one and all. I will see you guys very soon.